My day off finally came, so I packed my things and made for the road. I had finally gotten my hands on my equipment, and I needed to test it out, and so I decided to walk. The plan was to walk for 2 days on a beach, and the two challenges I expected were walking on soft sand and my untested equipment. After a couple of hours, the first problem showed itself. It was my sleeping bag. It was a little bit too big, a little bit too heavy, and it would prove to be a bigger challenge than I expected. As the hours dragged on, I got more and more annoyed with my sleeping bag. I was considering maybe ditching it, but it was the middle of November and it was still cold, so I knew I had to wait for the first night to make that decision. The annoyance with my sleeping bag came to an end pretty abruptly when I realized that I was basically in the middle of a BBC documentary. And now to test out my cooking equipment. Ah, it felt good to have a full belly. As I was watching the sun set on the horizon, I was pondering my first day. The distance I made was shorter than I wanted, but I attributed that to the fact that walking in the sand was very draining on my energy, and it was much slower than expected. However, my biggest challenge wasn't even my equipment or the walking. It was actually a much more hidden issue. You see, in the last 2 decades, I had spent my life on the internet, and without even realizing it, my brain had become addicted. If I'm not watching a movie or a video or reading something or listening to something, maybe music, maybe a podcast, I'm usually doing something else, maybe work, maybe studies. I had spent so much time on the computer that I did not realize how hard it would be to put it all away. As the day ended, I felt the need to pick up my phone from my pocket and just, go on Reddit or somewhere else, or maybe on YouTube, maybe watch something, go into my daily routine as I come home and I open an app and just spend the time away. I wanted to preserve the battery on my phone because, I still had one day to go and I didn't want to spend all of it. But as I went to sleep, I did take the phone out and I did go to the apps. And I gotta say, I really failed there. However, the silver line of this cloud is that I became aware of this issue. And, the first step to solving a problem is admitting you have one. But all in all, it was a good day. I put my thoughts away and I just enjoy the rest of the day. Afterwards, I went to my tent to sleep and I had a decision to make. If I didn't need my sleeping bag, I would get rid of it and continue on the second day. If I actually needed it, then I could not continue. I had to go back. And so I went to sleep without the bag. In the middle of the night, however, I woke up. It was cold and I really did need the bag. It saved my life. I am exaggerating, of course, or maybe I'm not. I'm not sure, to be honest. And so I decided that I was going to cut my trip short and return back. Even though my trip ended before I wanted it to, I woke up the next morning with a much more positive outlook. It was a beautiful morning with nobody around, only me, my tea, and a couple of dolphins. All in all, it was a good learning experience. And here are the dolphins.